Good everyone, welcome to today's video, and today we have a review on the British Catalina Mark IIIa. I decided in the end to do the Catalinas separate, and let's put it this way, whilst they are fun, for me at least, realistically, there's only, if I was to choose which one of the Catalinas to get, it'd be the Russian one, because I had a lot more fun in the Russian Catalina, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, and plus the Catalina Mark IIIa is a bit obsoleted already. So the Catalina Mark IIIa comes in at a battle or a rank 1 battle rate of 1.7 and costs 880 golden eagles off sale and 440 on sale, because obviously 50% off. Do I think this aircraft is worth 880 golden eagles? You're having a laugh, right? This thing is more expensive than the Hudson, which is a rank 2 and has a lower price of 700 golden eagles, and is also twice as expensive as the Havoc. And everyone knows how much I love my Havoc. That's why I can't wait to do a premium series flyout on it. And that's really what makes this thing's price pointless. Even on a 50% off, it is still 40 more GE than the Havoc if the Havoc was for some reason not on sale. But because the Havoc is on sale, it's 200 golden eagles. Why would you spend your money on a Catalina Mark IIIa where you could just buy yourself a Havoc? And I know some people are going to say, hang on a minute, Joe, you picked this up in the sale. Why are you saying this when you got it? I got it because, let's be real, I'm going to have to get this thing at some point. Same with the Russian Catalina. But at least the Russian Catalina you can kind of understand. And I'll point out in that tech tree why. Well, in that review I should really say. So the Catalina Mark IIIa, same with the Russian Catalina, does not change anything from their original US counterparts. There is no difference that I can really point out, other than the skin, which doesn't really count. And subsequently, these aircraft are exactly the same. They have the exact same performance, exact same flight model, and exact same bomb load choices. Speaking of that, how about we go take a look at the bomb load? In terms of your weaponry and bomb load, we have access to 4 Mark 13 Mod 0 mines, which are incredible. 4 1,000-pound bombs, 4 16, well, 4 16, that is terrible. Sorry about that. 16 times 100 pounders, 4 500 pounders, which as you can tell I never used, 2 Mark 13 torpedoes, and 2 Mark 13 44 torpedoes. If you're realistically going to be using any of these bomb loads, it's the 3 I have selected. 16 100-pound bombs, which are used for carpet bombing, 4 1,000-pound bombs if you need some bigger bang and you're not using mines, because trust me, the mines are a bit buggy against ground targets. And you're using the mines if you want to be a base bomber, pretty much. The mines are incredible, and they will one-shot any base, and just 2 of them can cripple an entire airfield. It won't kill the airfield, but it might as well have done that, given the situation with the tonnage. Now, using mines against ground targets, as you're going to see in this battle, is not recommended. The mines appear to be bugged against ground targets, well, AI ground targets, and whilst I do get 1 artillery kill with them, I was expecting a lot more than that. But realistically, if you're really needing a bigger bang against ground targets, just use the 1,000 pounders. So in terms of gunners, we have access to 2 50 caliber machine guns and 2 7.62 machine guns. We have a 30 cal in the front. We have a 30 cal under here, which used to be a 50 cal, but it's a historical nerf, so you don't get access to this 50 cal anymore. And then the 50 cals are positioned in these side blisters. In terms of armor protection, you have a single 4.7mm plate, which that's a very odd thickness. We have a bit of armor in the wing structure, we have a bit of armor for the pilot, and a bit of armor for the front gunner. Not exactly blessed with armor, but this thing has a bit of a party trick. Being a seaplane, you don't tend to have a lot in this area here. The only real notable thing is the landing gear. Otherwise, if you're being shot here, as you can tell, there's literally nothing to shoot other than the cables for the elevator. And it's unlikely these are going to get shot out. And as you can tell, that that's actually rather important because that makes this thing very tanky in terms of taking damage. Now, sure, if you're hitting the elevator section, this thing is rather fragile in the tail. The fuel tanks are nice and large, which are easy to hit and are very well. Let's put it this way: if you cripple one fuel tank, you'll probably cripple the other, and the Catalina will be out of fuel, so you can just leave it and it will crash. And yeah, that's what lets it down. But other than that, I still had good fun with this aircraft. But what's the point of paying for the British one when you have the Havoc or the Hudson? The short answer is there is no point. The Hudson is better in both. Well, I mean, it's not as good as bomb load, same with the Havoc, but those work as heavy fighters. With the Catalina, sure, you can do that, but you have to get a little creative. So how about we go see what I mean by creative? Let's get into the battle and let's have a look then, shall we? Because I know that sounds a bit odd saying about gunshipping, but you can do it in the Catalina. You can't really do. I mean, you can do it in the Hudson, but you can't do it in Havoc. This thing has a surprisingly good bit of coverage. That's putting that lightly. Now, you do have dead zones, but they're honestly not that bad, and the 50s are very easy to aim. And given the fact that this thing is so tanky, you're really gonna have some. You're really gonna have some fun if you decide to buy a premium Catalina, as long as you know what you're doing. So the original plan was to go for the airfield. However, as you can tell by the match timer, this turned out to not be the case. We have two F-2222s, a B-18A and myself in terms of bombers, and well, the F-2222s are not going to be bombing bases, unfortunately. They're going to go for ground targets. Subsequently, I have to get a bit more creative, and I was thinking of going for bases, but in the end I went for ground targets. And here is the main flaw of the Catalina when you take the mod, or the mines. I'm just going to call them mines. The speed and the climb. As you can tell, we are doing 120 miles an hour, and we are climbing at an absolutely pathetic rate. The mines add a shit ton of weight and drag to the aircraft. As a result, if you're going to take the mines, I'd recommend side climbing. Because as you can tell on the enemy team, they have CW-21s, they have MiG 3s. Yeah, if they see me, I'm a dead man. Pretty much, let's put it that way. Or so you would think. So, let's skip ahead and, well, because it's going to take forever to get there, and because it's a Catalina with mines, do you really want to sit here all day? I'm sure you guys have your own spare time to do. So at that point, I drop 2 pairs of mines, and I get buzzed by this MiG 3 here. He is actually going to prove to be a bit of a thorn in my arse. Now, he certainly did the attack right, it's just, as you saw, he hit the wings and he hit the fuselage where I mentioned earlier. And he basically did no damage to my Catalina. And now he's attempting to turn fight my Catalina. Now the embarrassing part is, in the majority of cases, I will actually outturn him. I don't know what the hell happened there, that was the mines, because I decided to drop the rest of the weight just to turn a little better, and as you can tell, this thing is rather maneuverable. So what I decided to do was I cut the throttle a little bit and turn inside of him. I try to get the 50s on him. The 30 starts opening up, and we're just going to be doing this for a couple of minutes. As we each try to figure out who's going to get on each other, like who's going to get on the respective person first. And as you can tell, it's the Catalina that's going to be winning this argument. Kill number 1. I don't think he was expecting that. So as you can tell on this point, it's down to me, a F22222, and a B18A. Our entire team is dead in just 5 minutes. In fact, less than that, pretty much. And it's now down to us bomber pilots. Fun. Luckily though, the CWs are dead, so that's at least a positive. Diving back to base is interesting because you have to watch your airspeed. But when you're flying a Catalina and you're feeling a bit brave, you tend to do stupid shit, but at the same time, that stupid shit can pay off, and it is a lot of fun to just muck around in this Catalina. You don't expect to have fun in a Catalina, but I did. This was actually a lot of fun. But of course, we're going to go tangle with those guys later. I decided to go back to base, get some more mines in case I needed to use them. And, well, I need to land anyway to get this fuselage repaired and the fuel tank to stop leaking. So, might as well end it. You'll notice that I didn't use the landing gear. The only time you want to use the landing gear is if you are undamaged or if you've just gotten the air spawn like I did. And you want to leave the match like J out and stuff, you will have to use the landing gear for that. But otherwise, if you need a quick repair and just need to get off the runway, just do what I did. Bring it in nice and slow, and not with the wheels, because the wheels take too long to come down and the brakes aren't even that great. So at this point, the F2222 actually crashed on the way back to base. And now it's down to me and that B18A. In terms of enemy team, it's down to a BF109B1, a I-15 M22, and a Chinese HS-123. And once again, yes, I do have the mines on board, it's just the replay doesn't render them. And this is where I'm going to get my first and only ground target kill for this match. And there it goes. Given how big these mines are, I was rather disappointed, but it's no big deal. So this is where gunship mode in my Catalina activates. I decided to target the TB3 bots. And this is where it gets funny. I bring the aircraft a little lower, and I roll the aircraft accordingly. Once I get some shots with the 30 cal, and in a second I'm actually going to roll, I think. Oh no, it's the next TB3 after this, it's not that one. After I deal with this I-15, I'm actually going to go back there and start rolling the aircraft to get the 50 cal on target so I can do more damage. However, this I-15 player, he plays it a lot, and I would expect him to know the dead zones of a Catalina. And not just that, to not tail sit one, but hey, if you want to learn what it feels like to be a human barbecue, I'm more than happy to oblige. That's going to be my second player kill for the match, and that's going to be it in terms of player kills. Notice what I did there? Yeah. We're going to be killing a few more bots. So there goes the I-15, and now it's down to the Chinese HS-123. That's all they've got left. And this is really where I get to have free reign of the battlefield. I don't really have to do much, I just have to do a bit of gun shipping. And that's what you can do. Subsequently, actually having the aircraft do this sort of thing, like going to gunship these bots, it's A, a blessing to your team, and B, it's a lot of fun. You don't expect to have fun in a Catalina. Not a lot of people do. But I had a lot of fun. This aircraft is surprisingly fun. However, Catalinas are one thing, and definitely one thing: flammable. As you're going to see in a moment, this thing is a tad flammable. Specifically, the engines are very flammable. I make a pass on this TB3. Which, by the way, if anyone is curious how that thing operates, I do have a review on my channel for that aircraft. And, well, it probably will be out before the Catalina comes out, but you'll see the surprise I have for you lot. That's another bot kill to add to the collection. And this is where we start to take hits from AAA. That's important for later, and Harry knows the pain of that. 50 cal opens up, kills the TB3 after the 30 cal jams. I tried to get shots on target, but decided, you know what, I'm just going to roll the aircraft and come in behind the TB3. And this is where it gets a bit funny. So the TB3 gunners are opening up, trying to tear me apart. I used the 30 cal machine gun in the front, and as you'll notice in just a second, it's going to get a little warm on board, and not in a good way. Once the TB3 takes a barrage of 50 cal fire, the right engine catches fire. But then it mysteriously goes out. I was thinking, bliss, I get to live through this battle, we're about to win. Yeah, the AAA isn't finished with me yet. Just before the game ends, the game decides you're not toasty enough. And any second now, there's another fire. Realistically, that probably would have killed me given the current airspeed of my aircraft. So, the British Catalina, whilst it is obsoleted by its competition at its own BR and its own price range, it is still a barrel of laughs. If you haven't got this thing in your collection, wait for a 50 or a 75 off and pick this thing up. I had a blast with it. The Russian Catalina though, that thing is a whole different kettle of fish. Because I think we've got some Russian bias involved with that plane, and I'll point out why in its review. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys off. I hope you enjoyed today's review on the British Catalina Mk IIIa. Can't forget that part. And I will catch you all on the next one.